Good evening, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your gut reaction chat from the Packers' 24-19 victory over the Los Angeles Rams. Their first one in LA against the Rams since 1966. It's nice to get on the W side of things out there in California, especially after a first half, which, whew, baby, that was hard to watch. Certainly a lot of mistakes on both sides of the ball, but particularly, and I think the fulcrum of this game is the pick six that Jordan Love threw out of his own end zone while falling down. Absolute terrible play. Incredibly bad decision. That was vintage early Brett Favre. Thankfully, the Packers were able to bounce back, including Jordan himself, who went on a bit of a tear after that play. Um, you love to see the resilience. You certainly had your heart in your throat at times with this team that continues to shoot itself in the foot at the most inopportune times. Plenty of times where they had the advantage and were driving and seemingly about to really take control of the game, and then a false start or a missed throw or some kind of issue on the offensive line, issues that they had to overcome, but they did. And that's the most important. We had someone in our chat during watch party say, it's yet again, this team doesn't put teams away. I mean, that's life in the NFL in 2024. I understand we all want these teams to come out, our favorite team in particular, and just throttle opponents and absolutely dominate from whistle to whistle. But that's not how most NFL games will go. I mean, look no further than the 49ers today, who had it up on the Cardinals for much of the game and then ended up losing. Or look no further than the Minnesota Vikings. The last 2 weeks, obviously beating up on our Packers to the tune of 28-0 and then barely holding on. And they did essentially the same thing today. They're 5-0. No one cares how it happens. Do not apologize for winning ever. I know there are going to be people on the internet all week long talking about who the Rams are, what they are not, how the Packers won a game whatever way, that it didn't look pretty. I don't care about any of that. You've got to get wins, especially early in the year, to put yourself in a position to make a run later in the season. Obviously, you would like to see the team continue to develop and to get better as the year goes on. I think you saw some promise today, but you certainly saw some struggles. I have no doubt people will be asking plenty of questions about all different aspects of the team. But some good things certainly happened out there. We saw Evan Williams get involved on defense heavily, a bit up and down. Certainly, you saw him get taken advantage of at times. He was out of position once or twice, but you also saw him close the game out. Some really good coverage there at the last throw of the game from Stafford. You saw Narv Puppy rebound nicely from a really rough week last week to a game where he missed. He didn't miss. He made every single one of his kicks. And I certainly think we'll talk about the lack of production from Dontavian Wicks, who once again was targeted plenty of times and just didn't seem to be able to kind of get going in any meaningful way, especially on that last attempt from Jordan up the right side where the ball literally goes right through his hands. To the inability to really get much going on the ground through much of the game. I know Jacobs ripped off a couple nice runs there towards the end, but this is a team in the Rams that have been run all over all year long. And the Packers had major trouble trying to generate any kind of running game throughout much of the contest, particularly in between the tackles. I do think, and I do wonder, I think some of that, I think a good chunk of it, can be attributed to the fact that they are operating almost exclusively out of the shotgun. There are precious few plays where Jordan Love is working under center and letting Josh Jacobs barrel downhill with a head of steam and attack things like, the classic between the tackles kind of run style that he should be eating with, especially against this team. Again, towards the end, we saw a couple classic zone runs where Jacobs hits the weak side cut back and gets nice gains and puts them in a good position till, again, some mistakes on offense set them back and they had to put it in the defense's hands at the end of the game. But yeah, a lot of up and down from a team that is continuing to find its way, but never, ever, ever apologize for winning. I certainly won't. Packers are 3-2, still in the thick of it as far as the division goes. I know the Vikings are starting to, stake their claim to dominance in the division, but there's a long way to go. Got to keep piling up these victories. Hello to everybody in the comment section. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everybody chiming in, mixing it up. Starting with Andrew. Thanks so much for the super chat, man. Matt gets the job done in California. Go, Pack, go. Yeah, been a bit of a bugaboo for LaFleur out there on the West Coast, but got the job done, and once again got the job done against his buddy McVay, who he is still not lost to. You love to see it. Now, yes, no doubt, Rams are beat up, but it's not like the Packers are a picture of health heading into this game. Joe, what's up, man? Hell yes, Tucker Kraft. Damn it, Wicks. I will say the Wicks thing is interesting because, as often is the case, I guess Packers fans just have incredible amounts of amnesia. Because I understand that it's completely frustrating in the moment to watch Wicks struggle the way he has here out of the gate in his second season. But that's not that much different than other Packers players we've seen struggle earlier in their careers, whether it's James Jones, famously Devontae Adams in his second season, had real issues catching the football his second year. And I'm not sitting here saying he's going to become those guys, but let's let him continue to grow and develop and hopefully learn from these mistakes. I get we want superstar performances right out of the gate each and every game. Man, it just doesn't work like that. Development is never, or at least very rarely, linear. And if this is the kind of rough path that Dontavian Wicks has to tread, I am fine giving him grace and allowing him to continue to grow, knowing that there are going to be some bumps along the way, hoping that that talent, which is clearly evident, comes to the fore and he becomes a much more consistent player, not just as this year goes along, but as his career goes along. I've seen way too much, oh, he's a bum, cut him, put him on the bench, etc. I understand the desire. I understand that's the knee-jerk reaction, especially while we're watching the games. But, man, I just think we got to remember the struggles that other guys in Green Bay have had and hope that we give these guys a little bit of grace, have some patience, and hopefully we see them continue to grow, Wicks continue to grow, develop, and become the player we all want him to be. That's where I'm headed right now. Anyway, Ed, thanks for the super chat, man. Worrisome win. Nah, I never worry after a win. Cleaned up the penalties, though. Again, with the ugly first half. No pass rush, mostly, but a field goal. A field goal. Absolutely a 40-plus yard field goal. From the right hash. I'd like to get one from the left hash, but worrisome. Nothing worrisome about winning, dude. I mean, if you want, you can worry. Is it going to help? Has worrying about the Packers ever made them play better? Has it ever given you a better result? Let me answer that for you. No, not once in your life has your worry led to the Packers playing better or performing better. Don't worry about it. A win's a win. Enjoy it. The Packers will get back to work starting tomorrow on whatever they need to correct and grow from and adjust. But you as a fan, why worry? Worry is not going to produce anything other than maybe an ulcer or like problematic anxiety on your part. Don't worry about it. Enjoy the win, especially a win. I maybe understand it after a loss, but after a win, live your life, man. Enjoy it. Your Packers are 3-2. Pack Daddy, what's going on, man? Love showed great resilience after a bad start. That is an excellent way to frame it. Now, the bad start was bad. There is zero doubt about it. Can't sweep it under the rug. And it is troubling to see him continue to miss throws that he should be making in his sleep, especially a lot of the things towards the outside on the perimeter, balls diving on him, just missing on throws, again, that should be routine. That's, something you need to see improve, especially for a guy who's been handed the bag and is expected to, perform at a high level on offense at the quarterback spot. But it was a great lesson in allowing the game to play out because he did play markedly better after the boneheaded decision on the pick six. Ryback, what's up, man? Great win, 29, balling out. What's going on with Wicks? Narv Kitten makes a field goal. I'm glad you brought up McKinney, man. 5 games in a row with an interception, tying Irv Comp back in 1943 for the longest streak in team history. If he gets a pick next week against the Cardinals, he owns it forever on his own because I can't imagine someone else is going to come along and have 6 interceptions in a row. And the fact that he's done it 5 times, and that ball from Stafford, man, they tried to go back to the well because Stafford had missed on that corner route. where the receiver had Nixon beat, and clearly it was almost I'm not going to say it was the exact same play, but it was this same action, same route, and same action out of the backfield from Stafford, who rolled a bit to his right and tried to throw back. McKinney read that the entire way. And I think some of that design is to try and get McKinney flowing to the opposite side of the field. Didn't bite on that at all. Clearly knew what was coming and just made a great play on the ball. We are absolutely blessed to be seeing Xavier McKinney playing safety for the Green Bay Packers. And I've seen a lot of people already stumping for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know about that. I've also seen a lot of people talking about, he's the best free agent signing since, Reggie being number one, Woodson being number two, and now he's entered the conversation for your third best free agent pickup ever in Green Bay Packers history. I think it's a little early for that, but certainly he has announced his presence with authority, and there's zero doubt that he has exponentially improved the play at the safety position. And I also think his presence and tutelage and veteran presence has certainly helped guys like Bullard and Williams, who we talked about earlier. They're starting to make plays. I mean, Bullard was everywhere today. He had one missed tackle that you could see his frustration on the field. But, man, he's becoming a bit of a dog, man. I like watching him play down in and down out. And I think McKinney being back there gives you confidence because you can do some things underneath because McKinney's going to clean it up, and he's going to be there. I just love the way this safety group is playing as a whole. William James, what's up, man? They are really committing to force-feeding Dontavian Wicks like they did to Devontae in 15. I mean, some of that's got to be situational, what they think is best as far as play calling and game plan, etc. But I also think some of it is Love trying to give Wicks a chance. I think Jordan Love believes in Wicks. We certainly saw them connect on tons of plays this summer in training camp. There's no doubt that he understands how talented he is and wants to get him going. I don't know if it's a collective decision, like we are going to feed Wicks. I mean, I guess we can ask Romeo Dobbs about that on Monday. But, yeah, I just think that's Jordan Love trying to make his guy get involved and give him opportunities. And I can't kill him for that. Soder, thanks, brother. How can they tweak the four-man pass rush? Move 52 inside? More Carl Brooks? I'm all about more Carl Brooks, who was active today. Definitely got on the stat sheet. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Outside of what they've done for the most part, it's hard to say because they've done a bit of stunting. They've moved guys around a little bit. But I don't mind the idea of getting some pass rushers inside. The problem is, of course, is that you can do that on maybe obvious passing downs, but certainly you don't want to be doing that on early downs. Although, who knows? I don't know how you'd be able to tell the difference with the way this group has not performed up to standard when it comes to stopping the run between the tackles. I mean, it's been hard to watch. And there has not been a moment where it's been, forget early downs, third and short or even fourth and short, the free pass. The Packers are not stopping you. You talk about problematic. That is something they got to get fixed because it is repeated through these first 5 games, but certainly today. The Rams knew they could get whatever they want. It didn't depend on who the ball carrier was. Didn't depend on what the front was. There were way too many times where the Rams ball carrier would get touched or even hit in the backfield and turn it into a positive gain and or a first down. That's hard to watch. That's got to get cleaned up. Dustin, thanks for the super chat, man. Willis will be great prep for the D against Murray. I mean, yeah, Kyler Murray is no joke. I know he's had a bit of a downturn last kind of like 2.5 season and a half, but man, he's a talent. He's still a problem with his legs and with his arm. No doubt about it. John Faust, thanks for the super chat. What a win. Stay well, Nags. Wash your hands, wash your butt. Cold flu RSVC19 season is upon us. Call back to Devontae, man. Wash your hands, wash your butt. Always good advice. Porkmaster, thanks, man. Got the win with plenty to fix. Hope coach is happy. Well, he always says, right? It's better to learn lessons after a W than it is after an L. No question. Uncultured, thanks to the super chat, man. I'm hoping the Vikings pull a Mike Tice. Yeah, the Vikings are a problem, man. Now, you guys know, I'm no Vikings fan. I pretty much hate them more than any other entity on this earth. But they're legit. Although I will say, interesting to watch how that offense completely fell apart once Aaron Jones got hurt. And oh, look, Aaron Jones got hurt. You don't say. Love Aaron Jones, but, you know, at some point, if you're counting on him throughout a full season, he's probably going to miss some time. And that offense certainly looked like a completely different thing when Jones went out today against the Jets. So something to monitor, something to look at. It's a long season. Eric Howland, thank you so much for the super chat. Is it just me, or does it seem like Jordan Love constantly puts a little too much air on his deep balls? Just seems like when he throws deep, the ball is in the air forever. I don't disagree. I think there's something to what you're talking about. Now, it depends on the play and what the concept is and where he wants or where he's expecting the receiver to end up. You know, you look at the read play on that first drive. I mean, that's a teardrop. That's a beautiful ball, right? And it's scary when he lets it go and you see 3 Rams defenders in the area, but he puts it right where Reed is headed, and that's a big, big play, right? To your point, the one that, you know, I'm with you on is the throw to Wicks, which Wicks should catch. Do not get it twisted. I'm not saying that this is, you know, that it shouldn't, like, Wicks is completely absolved because he should catch that. But Wicks has that dude beat by like a step and a half, if not 2 steps. If Jordan rifles it down that right sideline and it doesn't rainbow ball it, that's maybe a touchdown. I don't think the safety gets over there. But because, to your point, that there's so much air under it, Wicks has to slow down. The defender is there. It makes it a little bit tougher of a catch, and it's an incomplete. I think it's something that we've seen come and go through his kind of year and 5 games as a starter. Hopefully, we see a little bit more kind of laser shots on some of these go balls, right? It's never going to be one size fits all. But yeah, I think there's something to what you're talking about. Shafro, what's up, man? Been to 2 Green Bay games, 2021 Green Bay versus undefeated Arizona, and now this game. Loving my streak so far. You saw 2 really good games. Dude, that Arizona game, you saw Rasul Douglas end the Cardinals franchise live. Well done. That's good stuff. Keith Peterson, thanks so much, man. Who's the carry the G player of the game? Oh, it's got to be Tucker Kraft. Come on. How is it not Tucker Kraft? I'd love to give it, again, to Xavier McKinney because that's an amazing accomplishment, but that's a 5-game accomplishment as far as 5 interceptions in a row, and it's a great play today, no question about it. But you got to go with Tucker Kraft. Getting in the end zone twice, that first touchdown, when he stiff arms 2 dudes up that left sideline, come on. Tell me you don't love that. And I know he had, a play here or there that you probably like to have back, but, man, he was really good today. And what was great about it was that first one came after the pick 6, and it really and I think helped Jordan get into a bit of a groove, relax, let the offense come to him. I really like it. Abdul, how are you, man? Hey, Aaron, do you think Wicks turns it around? Caught 7 of 20 last 2 games. At what point do you play Bo or Heath over him until he gets things right? You don't play other guys over him because the only way you get it right is by playing. I don't think you sit him down. I don't think they'll sit him down. I talked about it at the top of the stream, man. We've watched plenty of players struggle early in their careers who have boatloads of talent and eventually put it together. Jordy Nelson dropped like half the targets at him his first 2 years and then became Jordan Nelson. Like, I have no problem with Wicks. I have no problem with them continuing to go to Wicks. The only way he gets better is by playing. The only way he gets more consistent is by playing. And as much as I love Malik Heath and Bo Melton, and I love them, they're not as talented as Dontavian Wicks. They are not. So you got to keep him on the field. You got to keep him in the rotation. I don't think you have to set about featuring him each and every week, but you keep him in the mix. 100%. Porkmaster, what's up, man? Giants GM needs to be charged with football negligence. I'm shocked, and that is understating it. Who cares, I guess? We got X, baby. The fact that both Xavier McKinney and Saquon Barkley are balling out in other places should get that dude fired. Like, those 2 decisions alone should get that dude fired. And that's coming on the heels of paying Daniel Jones. Yikes. Hey, Alex, thanks, man. Narvison MVP. Okay, slow down. Let's just slow down. Joe, what's up, man? on early read catch. Oh, no, great throw and catch. I mean, I think I literally said that on Watch Party. Was not happy with the decision, but I love the result. I'm down with it. It was like back in the day, I'll never forget a very specific play in 7th grade playing basketball. I was in the corner, and I put up a hook shot from the corner, like outside the three-point line. Hook shot. I hear my dad in the crowd. No, Aaron, no! And it goes in. Swish. Yeah, great job, Aaron. Sometimes it's about that life. Corey Krenz, what's up? Love is looking like a young number 4 out there with the pick 6, but will be better as the season goes on, I think. Defense still has to tackle better. The defense has to do a lot better in all areas, everything. As far as Love, yeah, we've said it plenty of times here. He is very much reminiscent of a young Brett Favre. And you just hope that he'll get a lot of these bad decisions and kind of bad throws and wild kind of moments out of his system sooner rather than later. Because right now it's a roller coaster. You need him to be a lot more efficient. Lewis, what's up, man? Happy for the win. Feels a bit weird as I'm not quite sure what this team is. Are we good? Go Pack Go. You are what your record says you are. And the Packers are 3-2. I don't know if they're good. They're up and down. They're inconsistent. They're good at beating themselves. They got to iron that out in the worst way. But they've got boatloads of talent. And that can hopefully find a rhythm and a way of working as the season goes on. But right now, it's very much a work in progress. Abdul, what's up, man? What's wrong with the run D? Scheme, execution, players? Yes. I added that last bit. I mean, I think it's a combination. I do think they're continuing to play. I mean, I want to call it a light box, but they have that 4-down kind of look. And those 2 defensive tackles are not controlling things on the inside, whether that's Slayton, whether that's Clark, even Devontae Wyatt when he was in there. They're not controlling things. They're getting pushed off the ball, and that is allowing backs into the second level of the backfield. And sometimes the linebacker's there to make a play. Sometimes the safety comes down and crashes and limits things. But, yeah, I just think they're not controlling things along the interior. And I don't know what the fix is there. I just think that's who they are at this point. Ryback, what's up, man? I think Cooper did well today. I think Wilson is growing as a number 2 back. Man, I love Emmanuel Wilson. He has become a real presence, and it's not like things completely downshift when he's back there. I thought he played well as well. And Cooper, I mean, outside of the sack, I thought, yeah, you saw him flash again. I don't know how many snaps overall he had tonight or today, but the talent's evident. You need to get him on the field more. But yeah, you love what you see so far. Ohio Mike, thanks, man. Still waiting to be excited about LVN. You're not alone, man. There was one play in particular where he tried to rush off the right side, and it was comical. I mean, it was comical. I'm with you, dude. You would like to see a lot more from the former 13th overall pick. I understand it's development. I understand he's still young, and now he's in his second season in the NFL and yet another new scheme. I understand it, but yeah, it's not been promising. Abdul, what's going on, man? Are you nervous at all that we gave this much money to a quarterback who misses wide open guys, skips passes, and at times shows bad mechanics 4 years in? Did you see Matt Stafford skip the ball to his dude on the right side there on that, like, I think it was the final drive, second to final drive? Did you see Matt Stafford miss a wide open shallow cross? Matt Stafford's been in the league how many years and been paid how much? No, I'm not nervous at all. Does Jordan Love need to be way more consistent? Absolutely. But no, I'm not nervous, especially about what he's been paid. He was paid the going rate for his superstar young quarterback who's developing and becoming hopefully a face of the league and or your franchise. I'm not nervous about that at all. Adam, what's going on, man? How important is getting in a flow for quarterbacks? Love looks great when he gets on a roll with some short passes under his belt. Man, I think you've hit the nail on the head here because I have really been frustrated with their offensive approach out of the gate these last couple weeks. I think they're so gun heavy at the moment. I don't understand why the approach has been so kind of dependent on Jordan Love operating out of the gun, trying to make like perimeter throws up, the sideline. There's been seemingly a real lack of, you know, boot action, play action. The under center play action has somewhat disappeared from this offense, where they made major hay with that last year. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a bit of a mystery. Bit of a mystery. Ed, thanks again, man. You're right. Total domination in the win column. To win while not playing your best gives hope for when they are playing their best. I mean, and here's the thing: you're always going to be dealing with, things you need to overcome, defenses that give you problems. You just need to stop shooting yourself in the foot. Like the Packers keep playing whoever their opponent is and themselves. Got to eliminate that. Have to get rid of it. Because right now it is absolutely killing them. But yeah, you definitely want to take it out of a win and hopefully improve upon it. I mean, look, they had what? Last year, couldn't score in the first half of games, could score in the first half of this game outside of that first touchdown. They ended up what? They started what? 4-6. People were writing articles about who they were going to draft at quarterback, and then they got hot. And I'm not saying that's automatically going to happen this year. I'm just saying it's a long season. And you have no idea how it's going to play out. There's a long way to go, and hopefully they start hitting their stride on offense sooner rather than later. Jeezy baby, thanks, man. MLF is so good. I love him and his eyebrows. The eyebrows part is the most impressive, obviously. Abdul, thanks again, man. Gary with 1 tackle. How much of his struggle is scheme? I don't think much, if any of it, is scheme. I think it's all on Gary needing to win one-on-ones. I think it's twofold, right? Because I think a lot of today was Matt Stafford being really good and in rhythm and being able to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So if you're an edge rusher, there's not much you can do there, right? Where there's a play in particular in the third quarter, I think, it was in the fourth quarter, where Gary bull rushes the tackle basically into Stafford's lap. But there's a very easy completion available to him to the tight end underneath, who runs 5 yards, just turns around. Stafford just throws in rhythm, and the ball's out of his hands. So what is Gary supposed to do there? I'm not killing Rashawn for that, right? Where I do get upset and, think, well, they need a lot better out of Rashawn Gary when it's 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 20. And he's rushing off the edge, and the tackle is just completely washing him out of the play. Like those plays, those moments, that down and distance is when you should be eating. If you're Rashawn Gary, that is when you should be pinning your ears back and licking your chops and being ready to make mincemeat out of that tackle. Unfortunately, Rashawn is just getting erased in those moments. That's the most concerning. That's when it's like, wait a second, what is going on? Because that's not scheme. That's a clear one-on-one that you can't win. That's a big problem. That is a big problem. Hugh King, thanks, man. X Factor with another one. Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he certainly announced his presence with authority and put himself in that conversation. I mean, I don't know how you have the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year right now, 5 games in, without talking about Xavier McKinney. Now, I'll take, arguments for other players, obviously, but man, you talk about coming out with your hair on fire and making your presence known. He's definitely done that. GPAC 2089, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Matthew Clark, you're up late, brother. Hope you're doing well. You got to be 3-2 to finish 15-2. Go Pack, go. There you go. I absolutely love it. All right, everybody. I have to get going, but I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels, after games. It's what we do. Packers fans worldwide, you guys are the absolute best. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack, go.